Hey, welcome to another episode of Things That Go Bump in the Night and Why. A real quick short that I want to say something real quick. You know, it's kind of funny sometimes, the paranormal doesn't always have to happen around in creepy old places, abandoned places, dark, mysterious places. They happen in modern day suburbia. They happen in modern day homes today. They're happening in old homes, run down homes. Wherever people are, you're going to find most of the time the paranormal or the supernatural that's going to be in evidence or in display or try to captivate your attention. And, it's not too bad to even say, hey, there's things that go on that around work. I remember I was working in Savannah, Georgia at a place, and we were making air spacers. And all of a sudden, we were just talking. And, I talk a lot about some things that go on about in the spiritual realm, or because that's kind of where our passion is. Me and my wife is in deliverance and stuff like that there. And I can tell you this, I can remember talking to somebody, and all of a sudden I looked down, and we had to have these papers where all of a sudden the product would come out, you put it in a box, you'd grab a hold of these thin pieces of long paper, and roll it up in a ball, stick it down inside the box, and you'd have to tape it. So, and we'd have them probably about 4 or 5 inches high, this paper, real thin paper that you put into this box, and it was just part of the process. And I remember I was sitting down there, and all of a sudden I was talking to somebody, all of a sudden I turned back, and something had grabbed that whole bag of paper and just slung it up in the air. They're just kind of like they just walked up and just threw it up in the air. And so, you look around people that are like that, and they start talking to them, and they say, yeah, stuff like this happens all the time. So I want you to know, if you experience something like that, hey, you're not going crazy. That stuff does happen. And hey, it can happen at any place, at anywhere. It's just a matter of whatever's going on at that time, however those spirits decide to manifest themselves. So don't get hung up in this thing that it's always in haunted house. For some reason it does. A lot of times we give credence to something, or we give power to something by repeating urban legends, and then we actually go out and seek, and then we find, and those things are waiting for us that are right there, and they're more than willing to accommodate. Hey, if you happen to come across something that was out of the ordinary when you were at work or something like that, I've got a few more of those that I'd like to talk about here eventually. But as this quick short, hey, drop a comment down or a note down in the comments. If you like the content, click and subscribe. And hey, give me a thumbs up. And hey, I thank you all for tuning in. Hey, y'all have a great day. Goodbye.